Hello and welcome to Country Mama Musings. You know, there's nothing more beautiful to put out in your garden during the summertime and springtime, and especially around the holidays, than wind spinners. So I thought we would get together today here on the channel and make a crocheted wind spinner in patriotic colors. So I have 3 patriotic colors here. I have my red, white, and blue, and let's get started on making a patriotic wind spinner. So to make our patriotic wind spinner, we're going to start with red, and you want to leave yourself about a 10-inch tail because you want to have just a single strand to hang your spinner from a shepherd's hook or your patio or a tree. We're going to go ahead and start with a slip knot. So go ahead and get that slip knot worked into your yarn there and get that onto your hook. We're using a size F 3.5 millimeter hook. You want a small hook to work these little wind spinners. If you'd like to go ahead and chain 80, you can chain 80 and then work a single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in every chain along your chain there. You will have 79 single crochets, but I'd like to show you how to do this with a foundation row of single crochets. I think this gives you a much nicer, cleaner look for your yarn spinners, and once you learn this technique, it's nice to use it for other applications as well. So we're going to start by chaining 2. 1, 2. Place your hook in the very first chain. Grab your yarn and pull it through. Now yarn over and pull through one of the loops on your hook. This makes a chain. Then yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. That makes a single crochet. So we've just started our chain and our single crochet rows. They're going to be worked together. Going back into the chain that you just made, making sure you get both the front loop and the back loop. Pull your yarn through. Yarn over, pull through 1, making a chain. Yarn over, pull through 2, making a single crochet. Go into the chain that you just made, making sure you get both the front loop and the back loop. Grab your yarn and pull it through. Yarn over, pull through 1 to make a chain. Yarn over, pull through 2 to make the single crochet. One more time. Taking your hook and going into the chain that you just made, making sure you get both the front loop and the back loop. Pull your yarn back through. Yarn over, pull through 1 to make the chain. Yarn over, pull through 2 to make the single crochet. You're going to continue to do this until you have 80 of your single crochet foundation. And look how nice and neat that looks. Really, really beautiful. I'll meet you when we reach 80. And here's number 80 for me. Again, just go through 1 loop and yarn over and go through 2 loops. And here we have a really nice foundation row of chains and single crochets. And you can already see that it's starting to curl a little bit to make our little wind spinner. Now go ahead and pull your yarn through, leaving yourself a nice long tail. We're going to fasten this off. And pull that through and make that nice and snug. Now what we want to do is we want to start back here at the beginning, and we want to go ahead and just slip stitch right into the very beginning of this foundation row. And we're going to grab our yarn here and go ahead and attach that, pulling it through and chaining 1. Now go to your very first single crochet and you're going to place a double crochet. Make sure you go through both the front loop and the back loop. So yarn over and pull your yarn through. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to go to the very next single crochet and complete a double crochet, again making sure you go through both the front loop and the back loop of that stitch, and complete a double crochet. You're going to complete a double crochet in every single crochet across. Nice even stitches. You don't need to pull too tight. Just work nice even stitches all the way to the end, and I'll see you when we get there. Okay, we're coming to the end of our double crochet row. We're just going to do our last few double crochets here in our single crochets, right to the very last one. And right here in my very first chain here, I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch right here where I finished off last time. And I'm going to go ahead and finish off this red. And here we have our row of double crochets. Now this doesn't look like much of a spinner, but our next row is really going to start defining the shape of our spinner. So our next row is going to be done with our white. So I'm going to go ahead and start this white here. I'm going to go back to the beginning of my double crochet row. I'm going to start at this end again. I'm not going to start where I finished off. I'm going to start down here at the beginning again. And I'm just going to slip stitch right here into this very end of my spinner. Right there, making sure I get both the front loop and the back loop. And I'm just going to go ahead and add my yarn here and chain one. There we go. Okay. In our very first stitch here, we're going to place 2 double crochets, making sure you go through both the front loop and the back loop when you grab your stitch, and completing 2 double crochets. We're going to go to our very next double crochet and place 2 double crochets in that stitch as well. And we're going to place 2 double crochets in every stitch along. Every double crochet is going to get 2 double crochets until the very end of our spinner. And as we place the 2 in each stitch, you're going to start seeing that our work is going to start curling, and that's okay. That's what we want. It's going to create a corkscrew shape, and that's what we want because that's what's going to spin in our garden. So I'm just going to keep working my 2 double crochets in every stitch until it starts curling. I'll show you that. And then I will work to the end and meet you there. But let's see if we can start seeing how this is going to start curling. See how it's starting to get just a little bit of a bend here? We're just going to keep working 2 double crochet in every stitch across. Now these spinners are perfect for hanging on a shepherd's hook out in your garden, from a tree branch. You can hang them from your patio or your deck. I have mine in my garden, and I love to watch them spin. I think they're so pretty. I have different flowers. I have one with a peacock feather. Maybe I'll do some videos for those later. But this is our patriotic one for the 4th of July. I try to get this posted in time for the 4th of July, but we are expecting rain in the forecast. So apologies if it comes out just a little bit late due to weather. But you know what? You can keep it up all summer long. You don't have to have it just for the 4th of July. And you can make these in all different colors, and they can grace your garden all year long. There's 1 and 2 in that stitch. Let's take a look and see how things are looking. You can see how now it's starting to corkscrew. This is what we want. The more we work this, the more of a little roundy corkscrew we're going to get, and this is going to work to spin in our garden. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place 2 double crochet in every double crochet that I have here to the very end, and I'll meet you there. Okay, we're coming up to the end of our row here where we're placing 2 double crochet in every double crochet from the prior row. I've got just a few more to go here to get to the end of my row. just going to go ahead and just slip stitch right here to the very end, and I'm going to go ahead and fasten off. And pulling that through and pulling it nice and tight. And you can see here that we've got this little mess here of a curlicue, and it's okay because all we're going to do now is we're just going to kind of shape it. You can shape this as you go. You can see here the little accordion, almost like a slinky shape that this takes. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch here in the very beginning of our wind spinner here and pull our yarn through, and I'm just going to chain one. Leave yourself a nice long tail that you can sew in here when we're done. And I'm just going to go ahead now, I'm just going to place a single crochet in every stitch across our spinner. Don't pull too tight, just nice even stitches. Just one single crochet in every stitch. And here's our red, white, and blue. I'm going to place a single crochet in every stitch across, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I've reached the end here of our spinner with our blue for our single crochet. Just going to do the last couple here, working to the very, very end. I'm just going to slip stitch right here at the very end of our spinner, and I'm going to go ahead and finish off. And go ahead and pull that through. Now, take an embroidery needle, and you're going to want to sew in all of the ends here where you've done your finishing off. You're also going to want to sew in all of the ends here at the very beginning, except for your very long one that we're going to use to hang this up on your shepherd hook or your tree. And when you sew them in, make sure you sew them to the underneath side, to the wrong side of your work. Look at where your nice neat stitches are, and then make sure you sew them into the very back. And just go in underneath a few stitches. There's one. I like to do this 3 times. Back through some stitches twice. And one more time. And go ahead and snip that off. And sew in the rest of your ends, and let's make some stars next to hang on our wind spinner. Now you may be looking at this going, I don't understand what's going on here, and that's okay. Look at this little corkscrew shape that it makes. Isn't that cute? This is what's going to hang from your tree, and it will spin around in the wind as the wind catches the stars and creates a little spinner for you. But let's make some stars to hang on the end. You can make any number of stars to hang on the end as you like. I think odd numbers are best. So 3 stars, 5 stars, I think 7 might be too much. So I would stick with 3 or 5. You can do any color combination that you like. We're going to start here with red, and we're going to start with a magic circle. Now I start my magic circles a lot different than a lot of people do. I just make a little knot here. I put my yarn through, and I pull it through, twist it, and make a single little chain there. That just kind of locks everything into place here. I like to keep my finger through my magic circle here, and it helps me work my stitches in the center. So you start your magic circle any way that you're comfortable. There are plenty of tutorials on YouTube if you'd like to learn how to make a magic circle. In our magic circle, we're going to start with a single crochet. Follow that with a double crochet. Chain 2. And place another double crochet in the center of your magic circle. And when you do this, this is creating the point of our very first little point for our star. Let's make another point for our second point for our star. We're going to go ahead and do a single crochet, double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet in our magic circle again. And this creates the second point for our little star that we're making here. We need to do this 3 more times so we have a 5-pointed star. So let's continue on. We're going to single crochet, double crochet. This is all in our magic circle. Chain 2 and double crochet back into our magic circle. There's the third point of our little star here. 2 more times. We're going to single crochet, double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet back into our center of our magic circle. There's the fourth little point of our star. 1 more time. I know it doesn't look like a star, it looks like a little bit of a mess, but I promise it's going to turn into a star. We're going to single crochet, double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet back into our circle. And there's our 5th point. To finish off, we're going to single crochet in our circle. And we're going to go to our very first single crochet right over here, and we're going to slip stitch to pull everything together. Now don't fasten off yet. Now that you have all of the stitches that you need, go ahead and take the tail from your magic circle and give it a nice firm pull to pull all of your stitches together. We're going to close up that center ring. And when you're done, you're going to have this cute little star. Now it needs a little bit of help. I'm going to take my hook out for a second here. I'm going to pull this as tight as I can get it. And each little point of your star, just pinch it. Pinch it in between your fingers to make those little points form. Once you do that once or twice around, they'll come together just fine. Put your yarn back on your hook and just slip stitch over into this point of the star right here. So I'm just going to slip stitch into this little stitch here at the top, and I'm going to slip stitch into my chain 2 space of my star. And that brings my hanging cord that I'm going to need to hang my star to the very top of a point. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to chain random amounts of chains for my stars so they all don't hang at the same level. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to chain 30 for this little star. 29 and 30. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this and leave myself a really nice long tail. And pull that through. Now I'm going to use this to sew to the very end of my spinner, and I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to sew this tail in. I'm going to make a variety of little stars for our spinner in different colors, and I'll be back to show you how to attach them. Okay, I've made a variety of little stars for our wind spinner here. I made red, white, and blue. I've already attached the red and the white ones to the very bottom tail end of our spinner. This is going to hang at the very bottom. And let's go ahead and attach our blue. Now I crocheted chains after my stars at varying lengths so they all won't be at the same length. Give just a little bit of variety here at the end of our spinner. And you want to make sure that you attach them on the wrong side of your work. This is your right side with all of your pretty stitches. You want to turn it over to your wrong side. And I'm just going to connect the blue here where the blue stitches are. I'm just going to pull that up until my chain hits. And then let's just run it back the other direction for a few stitches. And again back this direction one more time, just a few stitches that you just need to run that through to secure it. And go ahead and take your scissors and clip as close as you can, making sure you don't actually clip your wind spinner itself. And here we have the very end of our wind spinner with our 3 little stars. Isn't that cute? So all you have to do now is just wind your spinner up and make sure that it takes its proper form and shape. And if you have to, you can place a book on top of this to flatten this out a little bit, because these are tight little stitches. It can curl up on the edges. If you don't like it curling up on the edges, you can place a book on this for a couple days to flatten this out real nice and neat. But when you're ready to hang it up, it's going to make this really nice little slinky accordion, and it's going to hang from your tree or your shepherd's hook, and you're going to have your pretty little stars here at the end for your patriotic wind spinner. Thank you so much for joining me for this little tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you leave me a thumbs up. I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel, and we'll have more tutorials in the future. Until I see you again, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.